What is going on to the CloverTac crew and the Ghost Squad? Welcome to the Ghost and Clover Podcast. This is episode number 107. Oh, I'm sorry, not 100, but number 17. Wow, jumping way ahead of the gun here. Number 17, powered by our good friends over at EAA, European American Armory. My name is Trey with Ghost Tactical, and I will be your pilot for today's flight. We'll bring our co-pilot CloverTac here in a second, but before we do, just remind everybody what the plan is. We both bring a topic to the podcast. Neither one of us know what that topic is ahead of time. And then the third segment is the random viewer topic segment. And all you got to do to be eligible to pick that random topic is to say something, really anything out there in the chat. That will automatically get you entered into the chance to win that segment. We do want to say thank you to EAA and to Taurus, both sponsoring this podcast. More importantly, thank you to everyone out there who always supports Clover and myself, whether it's through our affiliate links, through Patreon, through YouTube membership, through Amazon, anything and everything, buying swag off our websites, all that. We do truly appreciate you more than anything else. Thanks for showing up. We do ask you to go support the sponsors, EAA and Taurus, and say hello and comment on some kind of a social media post saying thanks for sponsoring the Ghost and Clover podcast. Like I said, we are live streaming out to over 150 countries worldwide. So before we turn that seatbelt sign off in the cabin, let's bring in our co-pilot. What's up, Clove?
What's your Victor?
Quit calling me Shirley.
Right. Right.
Oh, Millie, what was that? What was that? Roger that. Millie Vanilli Chili Willy.
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
That's right.
Dog
yep,
bone,
that's right.
Yeah.
We are dating.
That was Hot Shots, I believe, wasn't it?
That was Hot Shots, but we are definitely, between all of the references, we are definitely dating ourselves
a little bit. Okay. A little bit. We both have something in common along that lines tonight. I don't like to give away that aspect of the show to those who view live, but if you're live, since you can't figure that out, but yeah, it's interesting. We were both of a like mind tonight for some.
Yeah, it is kind of strange. I noticed that as well, but that happens a lot more frequently than we would like to admit, unfortunately.
Probably we just don't pay attention to it. Quite.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
you've
been busy, I guess.
Yeah, I've been busy at work. Kind of batching it tonight. My wife is taking care of one of her friends for the night. And so
I batched it all weekend.
I know you're batching it all weekend, so you've done absolutely nothing, I bet.
Yeah, my wife's home now. She got home about an hour ago, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Less than
that's
an
good.
hour ago. So yeah.
Just enough for you to say hello. I'm out of here. I got a podcast.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's the way it goes, unfortunately. But
what you been doing? You've been we've both been pretty busy on the YouTube side, finally getting back into the swing of things, putting some content out there. Anything that you want to talk about real quick?
Dude, I had a company, I'll make a long story short. No, I won't. But I had a company reach out earlier, and a couple of triggers I got in. I posted some pics on Instagram or whatever. Strange for me to get AR triggers, right?
Yeah, it is.
But Ballistic Engineering reached out and said, "Hey, you mind, taking a look, playing with these, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, so to speak." Yada. I'm like, I've never, me. I mean, I've always done my own trigger job on the ARs, and it's good enough. Fan of hyper fire. I got nothing against drop-in triggers and things like that, but I'm like, sure, why not? So I got those in anyway. He had reached out and he was like, "You had time to do anything?" And I'm like, "Bro, if you only knew, like, it's gonna be a while. Like, if you only knew the amount of stuff coming in after TriggerCon, like, it's in the queue. We'll get to it.
Plus, if you're in my boat, you've got 17 things that were supposed to have been done a couple months ago, but just
well, this is true.
Life's been busy, so you got to wait a little bit, homie.
Yeah. Plus, you got a job, so there's that.
There's that,
guys.
Hey, you guys.
So, oh my God, have you seen the meme? Speaking of that, where it's Sloth and Mama from Goonies, and it's like, here's I'm gonna tell my kids, this is a picture of John Fetterman and Dianne Feinstein.
Oh God.
Beautiful.
I haven't, but that's beautiful.
Oh my God, so amazing.
Lord.
But speaking of getting out, I did get out and got to do some much overdue shotgunning yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
A little
really
range therapy, if you will.
Yeah, had the camera rolling, of course, while that was going on. I didn't use near the footage that I took in the video that'll drop probably Tuesday. Patreon patrons, YouTube channel members have access to that now, by the way. But yeah, it was like a 6-minute video edited down, something like that. And good Lord, I probably had 45 minutes to an hour's worth of footage. So,
right.
But
well, there might be some cool stuff for some blooper reels or whatever. I don't know if anything funny happened or not, but you never know.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much. When you're out there by yourself, I mean, yeah, not so much. But hey, anyway. We got to talk about EAA before we get started. We really had.
We do. Yeah, they've had a pretty good month. They've actually had a pretty damn good year, but especially the last few weeks, they've had a couple drop, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, still playing with the 2311, I guess.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That my video went out a week ago. If you're out there, you want to check the full review, the Witness 2311. We both have that. We both have the new high power, the P35 PI lightweight. You have the ops, I believe, and I have the match. You've got which is ironic. They sent you the gun with the Picatinny rail and me the one without. You know, I didn't even mess that up. Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows, man? They've experienced different things, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I've been enjoying that. The 2311 I've enjoyed. Kind of a full disclosure. We'll talk about it probably a little more when I do drop my video eventually. But right now I'm in kind of a holding pattern with my 2311. I've started to experience some random issues that I don't know exactly what's going on. Not major.
Yeah.
And very random. I did talk to Paul already a Saturday. I don't know, yesterday or the day before. And I'm gonna have some parts on the way tomorrow. That'll hopefully let me figure it out and rectify it. But keep in mind for those listening, again, once the video drops, I'll kind of give the skinny on what went on. At this point, I can't say, I don't know. But we got serial numbers 2 and 3. So
we did. Yes.
Like sometimes when you get early production like that, like you can have some little quirky things. So, and again, I can't badmouth it or say it's anything bad against that handgun because it's been phenomenal up until now. And at this point, I don't even really know what it is. But that's kind of my update on the 2311. Yeah. That, and I did get the Gideon Judge optic in, so I have replaced the stock red dot that it come with, which is a pretty good deal on that because I was totally surprised when that thing came and I took it out of the box and it had a shake awake optic on it, like from the factory. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I've enjoyed mine. I have yet to have any issues. I'm a couple 300 rounds into it, no hiccups whatsoever. With the 2311 or the new high power lightweight. That said, I mean, there's always something that's going to happen over time with a gun. But that, what the good thing about that is there's no such thing as a perfect gun, right? Everything's going to have issues probably down the line, especially if it gets used. More importantly, that gives you an opportunity to work with the customer service of the company. And that's an aspect that very few people talk about, is being able to work. I had a comment on my 2311 video and says, I had a Gerson one time and I never could get a hold of them. Well, like they're like 10 hours ahead of you, bro. So like if you're actually going to pick up at 6:00 at night, they're probably not going to be awake. That's why I said call EAA. And he's like, I want to talk to the manufacturer.
Good luck. There's a reason they go. There's a reason they go through an importer. So like, good luck with that. People are so unreasonable nowadays.
Yeah. And all that, but yeah, really enjoying it. EAA's got some new stuff coming down the line. Oh, man, they're always busy. They're always working on new designs, but some stuff that could be earth rattling in the next few months that could be amazing. But yeah, go check out our friends over at EAA. Corbin, tell them that Ghost and Clover sent you as well. Let's see here. You got the first topic tonight.
I do. We're fixing to have some fun. We're fixing to right some wrongs.
Lord.
We're fixing to right some wrongs, people. So I want the live chat out there, as well as the replay. There's comments below wherever you're listening to the replay or watching the replay. We're going to right some wrongs. So each of us are going to get 5 automatic entries for those that have been robbed as far as Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So we're gonna you get to right 5 wrongs. I get to right 5 wrongs. And everybody out there in the chat gets to right 5 wrongs. So 5 players that you believe are, for whatever reason, deserving to be in the hall, should be in the hall, but for whatever reason is not. I am going to caveat mine by saying I'm going to try to stay away from the PED side of things. Now, that's completely up to you, Ghost, and the other people as to whether they want to try to go that route. But I think I'm going to try to go that route tonight. It makes it a little more challenging, a little more difficult, a little more interesting, maybe. But it will also mix up, I think, if I do that. Because as I was kind of thinking about it, there's a lot of players that have that shadow over them, right? And I'm like, a lot of people are going to choose those players. So I'm going to kind of tend to stay away from that. I'm also going to give you first pick because I'm pretty sure. And
well, you know who I'm picking.
Yeah. Our picks do not have to be in any order because as we move along, obviously, we'll probably think of new players or whatever. So
right.
I'm going to let you go first. And I already know who it's going to be.
You do. Now, once a player is on the board, it can't be on both lists, correct? So once it's
yeah. There's no need. I mean, we're gonna right 10 wrongs tonight, basically. So
absolutely. Well, obviously, the biggest Hall of Fame snub in the history of baseball is Mr. Charlie Hustle himself, my hero, Pete Rose. You can say what you want about him being banned from baseball. Ban him from baseball as far as being a manager. All of the accusations and everything that happened with Pete happened as a manager. He's the greatest hitter that's ever played the game. He played the game exactly how it's supposed to be played. The reason that Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame is because of things that he did as a manager. Do not punish the player. Pete Rose, hands down, the number 1 pick overall. That is the biggest Hall of Fame snub, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the chat out there, the live chat echoes that a little bit, and I would agree. And that's why that one would definitely be on my short list. And I'm not as big of a Pete Rose, fan as you are, but Pete Rose has to make just about anybody's short list. I mean, he really does.
Right.
But I didn't even consider that. I don't even have Pete Rose. Pete Rose, it come into my mind just for a second. And I thought, you know what? Not even going to entertain that because
you know it's gone.
It's gone. So again, not in any order. So me going with it, and we've had this conversation before. Lou Whitaker, man, sweet Lou. That's hard to believe. It is so hard to believe that, you got so many of the teammates that were around him and everything else, and like for whatever reason, Sweet Lou Whitaker is not in the hall. And it's been long enough now that you would have thought he would have snuck in on a ballot.
Yeah, you would think, ironically, his double play partner is not in there. And I don't know if that name's going to come up. I'm not going to say the name in case it does come up later. Not in there as well. Lou was one of those guys in the 80s. There were 3 second basemen, in my opinion, of the 80s. Lou Whitaker, Ryan Sandberg, and oh my gosh, Willie Randolph. Okay. Those 3 were the epitome of the second baseman of the 80s. They were fast. They were athletic. They could have played shortstop probably for any other team in the major leagues. They were great hitters. They were bunters. They were base stealers. They hardly ever made an error. So absolutely, Lou Whitaker, 100% would agree. Sweet Lou was a great ball player for the Detroit Tigers for sure.
Yeah.
So me and Marcus, I need to talk with Marcus offline because I'd already, when you said the top 5, I wrote down my top 3 because they were hands down who my top 3 were. Marcus brings up my number 2. Ironically, he brought up my number 1 and my number 2, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Shoeless Joe Jackson was banned for baseball for the 1919 Black Sox thing, where he took money to quote unquote throw the World Series in 1919. Now, what they don't tell you is that he led the series in batting average and home runs. He hit over like 450 for the series. If he was throwing it, I don't know. Now, did he take the money? He'll admit he took the money, absolutely. But the reason why they got him is he signed this thing stating it. Unfortunately, they didn't realize that Joe Jackson couldn't read. And you know where this is a true thing. Do you know where they say X marks a spot? Do you know why that is?
Because that's how Joe signed.
Joe signed his autograph.
Well, that's how a lot of people that were
right. But that's one of the big reasons why say it ain't so, Joe, and all of that. But he signed it with an X. Yeah, it's a shame.
He did sign his name a little later in life.
He did.
I've seen some autograph things, and again, we're talking later in life. I've seen some autograph things from him, and it's a horrible autograph. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
When you're illiterate, you're basically drawing a picture of your name is kind of how you're doing it. But you kind of learn to just draw that particular picture. But and I've seen that. It's kind of
let me give you for people that don't know Shoeless Joe Jackson. Let me just give you some stats. Okay, let's give you some stats here. Lifetime, 356 hitters, 356 hitter, 356.
That's
salty, bro. That's salty. He actually there are statements out there that includes some of the minor league stuff that he did afterwards that he played in. A lot of people claim that he had a career 408, was what is second behind only Ty Cobb for highest career batting average ever. So go figure. Shoeless Joe Jackson, for me, it's a hands down, it's a no brainer.
Yeah, and I wouldn't agree. I think Shoeless Joe. I'm trying with mine is to more or less think about out of the box a little bit more than that, but and also think more like my time with sports, my era. Watching certain folks play, that kind of thing too. So that's.
But you know that I have a deep love for the game of baseball. And I'm a big into the history about baseball and all that. So.
Oh yeah. So number 2, I'm going to go a little more modern than Lou Whitaker. Okay. You went backwards in time. I'm going to go forward.
I did. Yeah.
And I've got hope for this player because I see a lot in this player.
I think I know who it is.
I don't know that you do. I see a lot in this player, and when I talk about it, you probably will. I see a lot in this player, a lot of parallels to Fred McGriff, who would be on my list, except for he made it this year finally.
That's right.
So because
did he play for the White Sox?
No, but because McGriff made it, no, because McGriff made it this year, I've got hope for this particular player.
Okay.
He to this day he claims he was not caught up in the PED. He claims that he was basically robbed, and I tend to agree, from the Hall and from some of the accolades, because like McGriff, he was front and center in that era. Just getting, and his stats are solid, even compared to those with PEDs. I'm talking about Kenny Lofton.
Kenny Lofton, the old center fielder from the Indians, where I knew him. He was famous from.
Yeah,
absolutely. Kenny, I thought you were going to go like Harold Baines or Edgar Martinez, or maybe even
both of them are in. Both of them are in.
Who is?
Baines and Martinez.
Did they get in like recently?
Yeah, Baines and Martinez are both in the hall. Yeah.
Okay, well, good for them. Good for them.
And you were talking about Trammell earlier, correct?
Yeah. Is he getting into
as well? Yeah.
Trammell's good for him. Good. Yeah. I don't keep up with the Hall of Fame.
That's why Lou Whitaker ticks me off so much.
Yeah, I think Whitaker deserves it more. No offense to Trammell. I love Alan Trammell, but I think that Whitaker deserves it more than Alan Trammell.
And Jack Morris is in there.
Jack Morris. Jack. I think Jack deserves it though.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. My number 3. This is going to be a little bit of a controversial pick here, and I'm going to caveat by this: he was involved, and probably incredibly involved in the PED time era. But I'll say this: before the PED era started, he was a Hall of Famer beforehand. I'm going to go Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds 100% obviously was a part of the PED when he was in San Francisco. But if you looked at Barry Bonds and watched Barry Bonds back in the late 80s, early 90s when he was with Pittsburgh, he was a Hall of Famer when he was the scrawny kid that was just the best player in the league. 30 multiple years in a row. This is before all the PEDs. Barry Bonds was a Hall of Fame player before he took steroids. Now, I am never going to condone steroids, okay? But what I will say is this. Does it make you stronger? Yes. But the hardest thing, proven by science, the hardest thing in sports to do is to hit a baseball. And Barry Bonds hit the baseball as well as anybody that's ever played, either with or without steroids. The steroids might make you stronger, but you still got to hit the ball solid for that ball to go out.
You got to read those pictures, right? You got to have proper form.
That's right.
There's a lot of things that go into it. Yeah, I agree with you. Can you smack home more home runs? Yeah,
maybe so. Yeah,
right. But yeah, I mean, I would agree. But the rules are the rules.
No, I get it. No,
I would agree too that Bonds was, grade A, top tier even before then.
Yep.
So, which makes you wonder why he decided to go down that road. But it is what it is, especially when you've got let's not get into all that.
Yeah. That's another conversation.
So three, you're gonna go Bonds. Man, I got 4. Yeah. I got 3. My 3 coming up, huh? I'm gonna go with somebody that it upsets me that they're not in the hall.
Yeah.
When Ryan Sandberg is.
Okay.
Donnie Baseball. Don Mattingly.
I would have to agree. How Mattingly is not in the hall. I don't know. I couldn't. I don't know.
It makes no sense to me at all. When you think 80s, you think Yankees, you think Pinstripe.
He was. He and Ricky Henderson and Dave Winfield were the 80s Yankees. That's just the way it is,
Yeah. And Winfield and Henderson are there, right?
Yeah. So That's what I'm saying I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it. It's another one of those Lou Whitaker type things where, I don't get where, you pretty solid team for that era. You had a group of core players, and for whatever reason, one of them just gets the shaft. And like Lou Whitaker, it's been long enough now. You'd think if he was going to get in, he would get in. But, we'll see. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Marcus is throwing some fire out there. Marcus is definitely mentioning quite a few that are on that have been going around in my head. And we can only pick 5, unfortunately. But good. Good names out there about
Marcus and I are. I mean, it's scary, bro. It's scary because he just threw my number 4 out there. That was Will of Thrill. How Will Clark is not truly, his stats aside, he was one of the biggest clutch hitters, a better first baseman than he's given credit for. More importantly, he was clutch, man. Like, That's the one guy. If you had a 1-run lead with runners on second and third with 2 outs in the 9th inning, that's the dude that you're walking. If he comes at the plate, you're walking. Even if the bases are loaded, you know what? I might walk him to tie the game because I'm not going to lose to this guy. One of the most beautiful swings ever. I tell you what, Marcus, you and I are connected somehow. Because I've already got all my 5 of mine written down. It'd be interesting to see if he gets my 5th. I don't think he will because my 5th one's a little outside the box. But yeah, Will Clark faux shizzle.
He nailed my 4. Because
Bill Buckner?
No, not my top 5 for tonight anyway. Thurman Munson,
Mr. 61. Oh, you went Thurman. I thought you meant Roger Maris, Mr. 61. Okay.
No, actually Thurman Munson.
Yeah.
For many years, if you would have asked him, like, he's there, and he's not. I don't know. It's just one of them things. Like, in an era in which he played, there are so many players that were even below his level that are there. And I don't, and we know that there's a lot of politics with getting into the hall.
So yeah.
Who knows? He may have just ticked off the wrong people, or whatever.
My 5th, I guess I don't think he's going to, because I'm going back to kind of like Bonds. In my opinion, was a Hall of Famer well before the PED revolution hit. Was obviously mixed up in the later end of his career in the PEDs. But once again, in my opinion, a Hall of Famer ahead of him before that. I'm going to go Roger Clemens. People forget how dominant Clemens was from 86 to 95 without the PEDs, or 96, whatever, that 10, 12-year span. The dude won 7 Cy Youngs, okay? In my time, the 3 best pitchers in my lifetime that I ever saw were Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, and Greg Maddux.
Yep.
The other 2 are in.
Top 3.
The other 2 are in.
Top 3 pitchers. I think you nailed my top 3 too.
Yeah. In my lifetime. I'm not saying all time. I said in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The other 2 are hands down Hall of Famers, and I think Clemens is a hands down Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah. No, I think so.
I love Dave Concepcion, Marcus. Everyone knows I'm a big Red Machine guy. I love Concepcion. I actually, unfortunately and fortunately, got to meet Dave Concepcion. I was asked to try out between my junior and senior year in high school for the Reds, and had a very good showing. And Dave Concepcion talked with me and my dad after the tryouts, and he said I was probably the best pure hitter at the tryout, but I would never play because I was too small. And it hurts when you're 17 years old. That hurts, man. Like, that really, really hurts. But the best thing that ever happened to me probably is I realized that I was never going to play in the major leagues. So you know what? Let's just enjoy playing baseball. And I kind of fell in love with baseball,
It's funny you bring up the small, and this is not a name that's on my list. That was your 5, right?
Yeah, I'm done. Okay. Yeah, Rocket was my last one.
Okay, so this one's not on my list. So calling an alternate is just something that come to my mind. And
honorable mention, yes.
This player was in my mind. Nobody out there in the chat has mentioned him yet. And when you said small, it clicked. Billy Wagner.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. For a smaller guy, he could bring the heat, man. Really bring the heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't around long enough to really. He had a great 3-year span there.
Plagued by some injuries, I think. I want to say.
I get it, yeah, but I mean, he just didn't have that 10-year career that you almost have to have,
You have to. Now, Marcus is throwing out Bagwell. Bagwell is in the hall, bro.
Bagwell is in the hall.
And Rock Raines.
The Killer Bees, baby.
Rock Raines is as well. So, my number 5 is going to be way outside of the box. Probably some people are going to go, you lost your freaking mind. But think about it. You brought up Clemens and Maddux and Ryan. Yeah. Let's talk about the big unit, right? Let's talk about Randy Johnson. Let's talk about that era, right? The the Glavins, the Schmaltz. Man, I'm trying to think. Who are all the other great pitchers in that, late
Andy Pettit.
80s, the very early 90s and stuff,
Oh, the
right?
early 80s, early 90s.
Early
Oh, yeah,
90s
early
and stuff.
90s.
So, and I don't think this pitcher.
Oh, you're talking about David Cohn. You're talking about
Oh,
Brett
yeah.
Saberhagen. All
Oh,
of those guys.
Saberhagen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saberhagen around a little longer, but
Mark Gubaza. I mean, yeah, there were some great pitchers back then.
So, and I think if you take a look at stats, this particular pitcher is there. He's there with a lot of those huge names, but his name very seldom comes up. Kevin Brown.
So Kevin Brown, I think Kevin Brown was one of those guys that I loved Kevin Brown. Obviously, being a Ranger, I kind of watched him.
Got so overshadowed.
He did, and I think that when I was going to say, I think that the problem with Kevin Brown wasn't his stuff. He was just too boring. Like, he wasn't the guy that was going to give any quotes. He wasn't going to get in the press. He wasn't going to be. He didn't like doing interviews.
But he did it on the field. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But then again, he was doing it on the field with Johnson and Ryan and Maddox, and it's like, and Clemens. It's like,
and the sad thing is to my knowledge, he was never even accused of any PEDs, and he was pitching basically clean during the PED era and still getting it done. So yeah. I like it. I like the Kevin Brown. I like it a lot.
And of course, I've got a pretty long list, and especially of some older stuff. Marcus, thanks for all those that you threw out there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dave Parker, Don Baylor,
Oh, Dave Parker,
Dave Stewart, Earl Hershiser,
not Ozzie Guillen.
Dale Murphy. Oh my God, Dale Murphy.
See, Dale Murphy was one of the ones that originally came into my head, just because people don't realize in the early 80s that was when the ball was dead and no one hit home runs back then. I mean, he was as dominant as there was at that time, Yeah. Murphy was definitely one of those that I thought about for sure.
Yeah.
Omar Vizquel.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's in, is he?
Nope.
Omar is one of the best defensive shortstops you'll ever see.
Right.
I think what hurt Omar was he was not the greatest hitter, but if you just want to talk about playing shortstop, he's up there with the greatest of all time as far as the defensive side of it. Yeah. What about Manny Ramirez? Ramirez. Yeah. Anything about
Manny Ramirez?
Manny being in. Manny,
Manny is in.
Oh, Manny is in now? Okay.
Manny's
okay,
in
good.
Now Marcus is bringing up Big Mac, Mark McGwire, and that's a pretty laden thing. And
I don't think and once again, I don't think he was a Hall of Famer before. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because he was with Canseco.
One more that comes to mind. We were talking about the older teams, and specifically when we talked those Yankees, Willie Randolph.
Yeah,
I don't think
Willie Randolph. Yeah, I brought him up earlier. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is David Cohn in the Hall?
No, David Cohn is not.
Probably. Yeah. See, David was another one that I think is probably an honorable mention.
Yeah, case to be made for sure. Yeah.
I brought up Andy Pettit. I don't think Andy Pettit's in there. Andy Pettit, no, he was blessed to be part of that great Yankees team, but that was the dude when they needed a big start. They gave the ball to Andy Pettit, and that dude was really good in the clutch. I'm going to bring up one that I remember watching with my grandpa, and he almost created the position of closer. That's Lee Smith. He used to pitch for the Cubs, Brewers, and all that. But he basically created. Is he in the Hall? I don't know if Lee Smith's in there. He should be if he's not. But he basically created the closer position. So last time I remember, Lee Smith was not in the Hall, but he might be in there now. I have to look that up. Here is Lee Smith.
Lee Smith is. Woods is talking about Edgar Martinez. Said should be in, but DH don't make it. Edgar Martinez is in the Hall, bro. He's a good
Edgar was
2018, late 20 teens. I don't quote me on
he literally he was the first DH to ever probably be considered. Typically before,
and
the
it took a while.
DH was an older, but the DH forever was the one that was the older player that could still hit but was going to hurt you defensively, and they kind of let him hang on for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Edgar Martinez was a DH in his prime when he was young, and he was just a freaking hitter. So Edgar for sure was amazing. Yeah.
We got to get moving.
Holy cow! Yeah, we do. We do.
We've talked too much baseball, which was fun.
You can never talk too much baseball,
especially old baseball. You want to talk new stuff? I can't help you. But want to talk 80s and early 90s? We can definitely talk it. That brings us to you now. Before we bring you up, I do have the chat picker rolling out here for everybody that's out there. We're not going to give any basically time or advance warning. When we get around to picking somebody for the third topic, we're going to roll that thing and do it. So get your comments in now if you want to be considered to give us that third topic of the evening. I guess with that, let's, what do you got?
We go music this week. We haven't talked music in a while. We're gonna go music. We're gonna go favorite, not singers, not artists, not solo artists, not duets, whatever. Any genre, by the way, any genre. Best bands of the 90s. Now, these bands don't have to be the ones that started and came in the 90s. Who do you think during the 90s were the best bands? They could have been back in the 70s if they, when they started up, they could have, U2 started in 1978. They were still going strong in the 90s. If you think that we're gonna get five choices for best bands of the 90s, and I'll let you have your favorite bands of the 90s. How about that? Any genre. I'm gonna let you have first pick.
Man, bands of the 90s. That's tough. The 90s is rough.
A lot of good music.
Yeah. I'm going to go right out of the gate. I'm going Nirvana.
Oh, he's taking Nirvana right out of the gate. That's basically strong.
That basically started the 90s, right? Like, so.
Yeah. I'm going to take a band that to this day still has it was in the 80s, but still to this day has the largest best-selling debut album ever. But they had a couple albums come out in the 90s. I'm going to go Guns N' Roses. I think that Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, the red and blue, was amazing. I'm gonna go Guns N' Roses. I think that they were great in the late 80s with Appetite. I think they found who they are, and I think that they were at their best in the early 90s when Use Your Illusion came out, for sure.
Yeah, I'll allow it. I don't have a problem with that. Man, I got a number 2, don't I?
You do.
I'm going Pearl Jam, man.
Wow, you're going all about the grunge scene.
Yeah, we're talking 90s, man.
90s no, man, I love it. No, you're talking to a grunge fan, so I'm all
it's hard to say. It's hard, and let's be honest. As far as grunge, it was pretty much all about the bands. Like, were there any grunge solo artists that anybody remembers? I mean,
no,
So
no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. My number 2, Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out in the 90s, Under the Bridge and all that. I was a big fan of the Peppers in the 80s when they first kind of come out. And then they did Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which was great. And then they're in the late 90s. Man. Mm-hmm. They had a couple albums that were just phenomenal. Californication was unbelievable. Hot Minute was good. Obviously Blood Sugar Sex Magic, but Californication was great. And that led into the early 2000s when I think that they kind of reinvented themselves and were still amazing. So I'm definitely going to go Chili Peppers is my number 2.
Number 2? Yeah, solid.
Well, I'm not saying like my number 2 pick, but they're my second pick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe probably my number 2. Yeah.
No, I feel you. Dang, I'm number 3.
You are.
Man, I'm gonna go with a band I've seen live many times, several times. Early 90s or whatever, that absolutely rocked the house. I don't even know, honestly, what genre you put them into for the most part. In the early 90s. I think they were considered country. I don't know that they would call themselves country, but they certainly played with country solo artists and things like that when they toured. The Kentucky Headhunters.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'd definitely I'd put them in the country realm for sure.
More of a maybe like a southern rock type thing.
Southern rock, but southern rock wasn't a thing as a genre really in the 90s. So southern rock would have been considered country back in the 90s probably. But no, great band. Man, this is my number 3, right?
This, 3,
yeah. This band, I heard them for the first time when I was in Japan, and I heard a song named Buddy Holly, and I instantly fell in love with their sound. I'm gonna go Weezer as my number 3. I love me some Weezer. Gotta go Weezer. Say It Ain't So, Buddy Holly, Sweater Song. Yeah, it was great album. I just remember being in Okinawa and hearing them like, oh, who's this? Yeah, I gotta go with Weezer, number 3.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Wow. Number 4. Trying to think, because this is the bad thing, just for everybody out there listening. It's the one bad thing about this type of a format. So they're thinking, going, man, who,
Man, TJ's bring the Pumpkins, Green Day, Foo Fighters, Rage, Stripes, Blink-182. My God, there's some great ones. I've seen a lot of those bands in concert too.
Definitely all solid.
Yeah.
You know what? I am going. Do I want to do this?
I don't know.
Talk about 90s. I think I do. We're talking about the 90s. I'm going the Cranberries.
That's a great one. That is my wife's favorite 90s band. I can neither confirm nor deny that I might have gotten high with Dolores O'Riordan in Dallas in 1991.
Right.
They played at a club called The Trees in Dallas. And if you're from Dallas, you know about The Trees. And a buddy of mine's dad was part owner in that, and so we got always backstage. And I smoked out with Dolores, and I had a huge crush on her.
Yeah, when you think Zombie,
90s, hell yeah.
Yeah, when you think 90s, because the Cranberries are there.
No, they're definitely there. They're
definitely not there. Grunge, but they're there.
No, they're definitely alternative, for sure.
Right. But let's mix it up. Let's mix it up. So
yeah. Number 4 for me. Number 4, little controversial, but I remember seeing them as a ska band before they were famous in San Diego. I'm going No Doubt. This is before they were, uber famous. They were a ska band playing in Southern California, and we would go see them all the time because they were the best ska band. I love ska. They were the best ska band in Southern California for a long, long, long time before they made it big. So I've been a big fan of theirs. Matter of fact, I don't know if I still had, I probably don't, but I had their very first CD, not like from a publisher. The ones they were selling out the back of their truck and at concerts. They made their own CDs. It was all ska music back then. It was amazing. They're a great ska band. Great ska band. Yeah, No Doubt, my number 4. No Doubt, for sure. See what I did there? Oh, we lose Clover. We might have lost Clover.
Yeah, I just had the mute on. Man, okay. Number 5. So you go No Doubt.
5. I'm gonna give you, if you would like to choose it, this is number 5. If you would like to give an honorable mention as well, because I'm gonna take an honorable mention. I'll give you the same opportunity that I'm gonna take.
Okay. Man, the 90s.
Now, the Fence Dad says, what about Zeppelin? They got to be in their 90s by now.
Oh, this is true. That's valid.
That is a valid point.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, I know there's a lot of bands that started earlier or whatever, or they started early. You know what? I thought of one here. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And I was into this band. This band kind of was at the time. Give me a minute. I gotta go look at something, but I'm pretty sure.
Real quick, while you're looking that up, I want to say hey to Off the X out there. My buddy Lance says, "Yo, just got off that southbound train." Well, stay safe out there, brother.
So, yeah, I wanted to go do a little bit of Google food real quick, but yeah, this is. I think this is worthy of 5. Now, I was into these. They come in toward the later end of the 90s. And I was actually into these guys when they were low key opening, playing like local rock festival stuff.
Sure.
They kind of got a rap the same that what am I thinking? Oh crap! Most hated band ever. Come on, help me out here. Guilty pleasure.
You talking about Nickelback?
There you go, Nickelback. So they got it. They got it. Yeah, I knew you could hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah. Which I don't mind Nickelback. Like that's a guilty pleasure for me. But anyway,
I think some good songs.
This band caught the same type of thing, but I was listening to them before they got big, and like I don't know. It seems like when you get big, you got haters. You start getting a lot of haters. But anyway, Creed.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll give it to, I never could stand Creed. To me, what is his name? Scott Stepp or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Scott Stepp.
That dude was a poor man's wannabe Eddie Vedder. I never, ever, ever, ever could like Creed. I never did. Now, when you bring up like Nickelback, like I was never a Nickelback fan, but like everyone knew some of their songs. When the songs would come on, I like that song. I like that song. You know the words of that song. Man, from the very beginning, the second that I heard "Can You Take Me," I would turn the radio. If
first of all, that's one of my least favorite songs. That is probably their most popular. That's probably their most popular.
Yeah, I cannot stand Creed.
But that is not. That doesn't. I don't think that makes my top 5, and maybe even not my. It definitely does not make my top 5. And it probably doesn't even make the top 10 of my Creed songs. But again, my favorite Creed songs. But again, I was into Creed before they were ever popular. I mean, literally opening acts at noon, during a music festival.
Sure.
So,
I get it.
Yeah.
Now, Lance Off the X out there says, now, ironically, that works the river, it says Train.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah, I just, yeah. I'm going to do an honorable mention. And I say this because they weren't around long enough. I think they could have gone down as one of the most influential bands maybe ever had Bradley not killed himself. Now they had multiple albums, but it was before they were hitting the mainstream. But a band called Sublime. I was fortunate to see them many times in Southern California when I was out at Pendleton, and had Bradley not overdosed on heroin right as they were really becoming like mega stars. I think they could have done something special. So for that fact, I'm not going to put them as one of the best bands. I think they could have been. I am going to throw one out there that's controversial because this is kind of like one of those Creed ones. Like everyone likes them, but like they don't admit it. They're the closet. Everyone knows all their songs, and they're one of the most, I don't know how to put this, successful bands ever. Hootie and the Blowfish. And I love Hootie and the Blowfish. And I remember when Hootie was the biggest band in the world. And now it's
I almost said Hootie earlier.
I love Hootie, and I love Darius Rucker's voice. I love him as a country singer. But people say, "Oh, I can't stand Hootie." Yeah, but you know every word to every one of their songs. Cracked Rear View, whatever that thing is called, Cracked Rear View, their debut album. Legitimately, every single song on that album was incredible. Incredible.
So now since we're in honorable mention, something comes.
Well, that was my number 5. My honorable mention was Sublime. But yeah, Hootie was my number 5. Yeah.
Okay, Hootie was your
yeah. Go ahead. You didn't take.
By the way,
take an honorable. Yeah.
By the way, how awesome! Santeria is one of my favorite tunes. Like
Santeria is great. It is one of those. Yeah. Really imagine seeing them. So there was a concert. I want to say it was on Memorial. It was either Memorial Day or 4th of July. One year when I was stationed at Pendleton, and San Diego used to have this thing where they would shut down kind of downtown on this weekend, and they would have a music festival. But the cool thing was the music festival was on top of all of the buildings in downtown San Diego. So each building was a stage, and you could just jump, not literally jump, but like go down the elevators and all that, but you can go from building to building, and at the top of each building was a stage, and there's a different band playing all day, just a bunch of different bands on top of these buildings, and it was wonderful. But they would play the bars. I got to see No Doubt. I got to see Blink-182. I got to see Sublime right before they hit it. They made it commercially. They were playing all over the San Diego and the Southern California. We'd go to Huntington Beach and see them. Those 3 bands I remember the most, we saw them the most. They were amazing before they got famous. And Santeria is unbelievable. It is an unbelievable song for sure. Collective Soul, good call there, Ozzy.
Yeah, Collective Soul was a good one. No, I was going to bring up Four Non Blondes.
Four Non Blondes, great song. Radiohead, man, I almost threw Radiohead in there.
Radiohead's a good one. Yeah,
I know people were saying, probably mentioning where's REM. I was never an REM fan. U2 was the biggest band in the early 90s with Octung Baby. I love U2, but I thought that was too easy. Another band that I really thought of, which is great, was Oasis. I almost put Oasis and Stone Temple Pilots, man.
STP. Man, one that I didn't even think about until just freaking now. 3 Doors Down. Man, I love
Three Doors Down.
I love Loser. Yep. Like I love that. Their sound is just. I love that sound that they have. Yep. It's just, and it's the same with every song, just about they do, which is annoying to an extent. But, man, the Pixies.
The Pixies were great. Yeah, absolutely. Offspring.
Yeah. Pantera.
Counting Crows.
Mr.
Jones. They were good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Great one. Yeah, that was fun, man. This is obviously going to be probably our longest episode. But when you're talking baseball and music, I mean, how can you go wrong? So we are getting ready to go into our 3rd segment.
Let me get the screen. Let me get the screen up here because everybody who has commented, your time has come. So
this is the random viewer topic presented by our good friends at Taurus, and Clover's gonna. So what we're gonna do is Clover's gonna draw a name, and we're going to give you 30 seconds to a minute once your name is drawn. You can give us any topic that you want, assuming that it will not get us kicked off of the airwaves and YouTube. Right. We do reserve the right to refuse certain topics, but for the most part, tell us what you want to talk about. It could be anything.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see, round and around and around she goes.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Right. Hopefully it's somebody out there, somebody that's been participating.
DJ Play Nice. That might be a music topic.
If he's still out there and listening,
still out there.
DJ, I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, when he came in, he says he was just coming in to show the support, which is great. Thank you very much. But I haven't seen him. We'll give him 30 seconds or so to say something. I have a feeling we might be redrawing, though.
We may. But we can we can talk some Taurus while
we can talk some Taurus
doing this. We may have to pause and redraw, but that's okay too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that I really got into Taurus with the G3. Now G4 is even better, they say. I like the G3 better than the G4 personally. But the G3 is what really kind of got me into thinking that Taurus is a good one, because I like the striker fired polymer. Obviously, they've been around a long time. The PT92 has been out there. All the revolvers have been out there. They've got a 1911 that's been out there for a long time. They kind of give a little bit to everyone out there. As much as I don't particularly want it, I think it's cool as hell, and I might want it just to have it, is the all new 500 Smith Raging Hunter. Wow. What's that? No, they just came out with the 500.
Yeah, the 460 is better, but I hear you.
Oh, well, but still, the Raging Hunter itself is pretty cool. But Taurus is involved, has some other companies that does shotguns and all that. But yeah, they offer pretty much anything to, whatever your firearm attractive soul is, that's what they're going to offer. They've got a little bit of everything. Yep. I know that you're a big fan of some of their stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to redraw. We're going to redraw. And then while I'm vamping here, that'll give that person time to answer, because obviously DJ's no longer with us, sadly. So let's see who is coming up next. Oh, it's that guy's wife, Media.
Lord, this could be interesting.
This could be very interesting. So,
because she knows both of us very well. This could get
she literally just commented 3 minutes ago, so she may still be out there. So give us the third topic. While that's going on, she
gave us two. Pick one, woman.
Pick one. You got to pick one. We've done both of those on the
show.
can
do both of them. So yeah,
we've done both of those before, actually. Taurus. So one thing I want to say about Taurus is, I've got a Taurus Tracker 44. It's quite a few years old, and one of the things I've always disliked about that is the grip. However, I did get in yesterday or the day before. I got in some grips from Lock Grips, because the grips on that thing I've always hated. And when I had Blake on the show, he's like, "Oh yeah, we got grips now for the Taurus trackers," and I'm like, "Oh." So if you're out there, don't do like me and order the wrong grips. I had to get in touch with him, and he's sending me the right ones. He said I can put these in the box and send them back. But I was so excited. I got them. I opened them, and I'm like, these don't fit. And it turns out I ordered the wrong ones, and they're actually for a Kimber revolver, which I don't have. But anyway, if you're out there and you're like me, and you've got those Taurus revolvers, but you're not necessarily fond of the grips on those Taurus revolvers, Lock Grips offers some options for those now. So kind of a double whammy there. No, that guy's wife says we're going to talk shoes, so we can do that.
I wouldn't call him high maintenance. I'd call him a diva. So
I'm a diva. I don't get a Snicker very often, so it happens.
No, you don't.
Unfortunately. So shoes, yeah.
We're both a bit of shoes horses, shoes whores, if you will.
We've been into shoes.
I've been into shoes for a long, long time. I got more shoes than anyone should probably have, but I just got another pair last week. So yeah, I'm always into shoes.
Yeah. I've
What
been
did you get
looking.
last week?
I've been looking at some new. I haven't got any. I haven't got anything
Oh,
new
okay.
since before TriggerCon.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. Here's my thing with shoes, right? So, and if you're out there, chime in for sure. My thing with shoes is I'm not necessarily in. I don't gotta have the Jordan Air ones or the Shaq Gnosis or the Currys or like I don't have to have the little bronze, right? I don't have to have those. More so what I've been looking for lately is I want unique. I
Yeah.
want something that has a very really cool color pattern that stands out. That's been one of the things that kind of we both have gravitated to with making these shows is, wear some stuff that sets you apart that makes you different, you know?
Yeah, I've
Um,
definitely put an emphasis on two different things. One, comfort because they are at
yeah.
shows, but two, yeah, I've really dove into how do I put them? Beautifully ugly shoes.
Right. Yeah. 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 So, multiple colors, bright colors, things like that. And,
Yeah,
it's aggravating because, you go into a store. I can't tell you the number of shoe stores I've been into, and I go in there with money to spend. I can spend money and buy shoes, and I go in there, and they always have like the drab colored, just
yeah,
plain. They're black or they're white or they're brown or maybe they got a little bit of red accent or
right.
something like that to them. But like they just don't sell. And I'm guessing probably it's because you can find them online occasionally, but some brands
Sure.
even um, don't carry a lot of different color patterns. Uh, but I wouldn't have thought the Adidas that you got that were so wild.
Oh my god, they
That's
are so
maybe the
comfortable.
first. That's maybe the first real colorful pair of Adidas I think I've ever seen. Quite honestly.
Yeah, because Adidas is usually pretty bland and boring, and
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I've
Yeah.
never really liked Adidas. Um, it's just my wife has always loved the original white with the green three Adidas stripes. It's just a classic Adidas, and they've been around like that forever. I've never been because I've never liked the looks, and I didn't even see this. What he's talking about, my pink and blue ones. And my wife was looking on the Adidas thing because she likes Adidas, and she was on there and she goes, "Oh my god, like these are yours." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You need to come see this." And so I looked at them and I said, "Are those women or men's shoes?" Because those are men. And I said, "Order them right now." And I said, they debuted at DreamCon. They will make an appearance. It shot. They made it several appearances in videos, but yeah, I think that both of us, what really started it, to be honest with you, was when you had a blowout at Shot this past year with your Skechers, and
The Dorothy shoes.
you couldn't find any Skechers that you really liked, and you were like, well, screw this, you know,
Let's have some
these
fun.
red ones are kind of cool, and
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
um, I've had a couple Amazon shoes that have actually worked out to be really, really comfortable. My
Oh, me too.
so-sos
Yeah.
are great. Love my so-sos.
Yeah. I got a pair off Amazon Vine that they're they're called like Air One, but they're not Nike. Um,
Right.
but they're a blue and orange, and I mean um they match my Waterboy jersey to a T because it's orange with blue trim, and those shoes are that same exact color blue with orange trim, and it's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
freaking perfect for that. Like I gotta have these.
Yeah. Right.
Um, but yeah, that did kind of start it all when I had a blowout, and it was more so it was a buy one get one is why.
Yeah.
Because and of course you weren't paying attention, but at TriggerCon Range Day, I was actually wearing for the very first time, honestly, um, the pair I bought at Shot that year, the ones that I intended on wearing, which were
Oh
the
yeah.
Skechers. What are those called?
The camo
Trail
ones or whatever.
Terabyte. Sketcher Terabytes is what they're called. Yeah, Sketcher
Yeah.
Terabytes is what they're called.
Yeah.
And that's the ones I bought that I was originally going to wear during SHOT Show, and then I bought the red just for fun because it was buy one get one, and I ended up
Sure.
wearing, of course, the red ones, and then we got into the jerseys, and the rest was history, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, But
Yeah, if you
yeah,
would have
shortly.
seen both of our NRAM is where
Oh
we
yeah,
came out
really
of the
kicked off.
that we quote unquote came out of the closet, if you will. We really my whole idea at NRA was to clash colors and patterns as much as possible. We both went bright. We both went wild and
Now I
crazy
don't
color
clash.
patterns.
That's your thing.
I clash. I
Yeah.
intentionally clash. I wear weird combinations of
Yeah.
camo and Hawaiian floral print or tie-dyed, with weird shoes. That's my thing is, and if you guys have met Boogaloo on the Anderson Kiger video, you'll understand that that's kind of my style. And the good thing is, Clover, is we're both relatively confident in who we are and really don't care what people think. But it's
Yeah.
funny how everyone kind of, everyone, not necessarily that we started, because Snob and those guys started wearing those crazy ass Hawaiian shirts that shot this
Yes.
year. But
Right.
everyone has their own style now that we kind of hang with. And I love the fact that none of us are the 511 khakis with black
There
t-shirt, and black tie,
definitely ain't no gray men in the group.
No, we're
That's for sure.
no more gray men in the group, which I love. I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I'll tell you one thing with me and making that shift. You talk about the comfort, and with comfort with shoes certainly important.
Yeah.
But one thing with me making the shift, especially into the jerseys, when
Yeah,
I
they got to
wear those,
match your jersey.
is well, not that, but the comfort level, because I wear the athletic pants or the sweats with the
Yeah.
jerseys now.
Yeah.
And you talk about way more comfortable than wearing,
Oh yeah.
tactical pants or something else around on the
You've
floor
come
all
a
day.
long way
They're
from the
soft. They're
denim jeans of 5 years ago.
oh my God, you would
Remember,
I
you
would
remember
not
you
be
were
caught
you
dead.
man,
Oh yeah.
I could not convince you at all to wear, tactical pants, 511, whatever you want to call those kind of, you were always jeans, and then you started wearing, the tactical pants, and
Well,
I remember when you called me and said, "My God, I'll never wear jeans again." And now
and I
you're
haven't,
wearing freaking
and I haven't.
sweatpants.
And now,
Yeah,
not just wearing them around the house, like literally wearing them at SHOT Show or at NRA or at
yeah,
JurorCon. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, it's insane. But you get older, and comfort is the thing for sure.
Um, all right, since we're gonna talk shoes, let's talk real quick. What's your favorite? Is there a pair of shoes out there that, if you could get them, price doesn't matter. If you could get them, if you could find them, and you had the money,
Hmm.
what's like the holy grail of
Man, you're gonna
shoes
ask me
for you?
this. I don't know what they are. Hang on. But yeah, there absolutely is. Um, the Reebok Shack Attack in LSU colors.
Oh,
I want those
interesting.
so bad. I want those so bad. Reebok Pump, obviously.
Yeah,
In the purple and yellow, the Shack design.
yeah,
I want those so bad. Oh my God, I want those so bad. Um, a little bit tough to come by. Shack, I've yet to get a pair of Shacks in any flavor, right? The Shack Attack
yeah.
or
Sure.
the Shack Gnosis. Um, but that's hopefully that'll be my next. Eventually, I'll be able to get a pair. Find a pair color wise and some other things that I like, and I'll be able to
Yeah,
pick up a pair because I really want some. I really want some Shacks. Again, doesn't have to be, either one would probably work. Shaq
yeah,
also had some. I think I've showed them to you before. Some Flintstones color scheme designed shoes as well. Shaq's got some pretty
right.
cool. Had I should say had. Still does got some cool stuff, but the ones that I favor tend to be more retro and hard to find. So,
Yeah,
but got some that that I really do like. I was lucky enough to get those Curry twos, those
yeah,
Curry two Northern Lights, and of course I wore those at NRAM. That's probably my favorite pair as far as as far as the ones I have now. But
Right.
yeah, really would like some stuff from Shaq for sure.
Yeah. The ones that I've been looking for, and they're not overly expensive. They're like less, around $200. And that sounds crazy, but it's really not that bad, all things considered. I just can't find them in my size and all of that. But some of the shoes that I've wanted for a long, long time, and I don't remember which ones they are, but they were the Kobe Team USA shoes, the low top Team USA. He was with one of the Dream
Oh
Team.
yeah, those are.
I don't remember. I don't remember which model the Kobe's they were, and they're out there. But I remember always seeing that's one of the best looking shoes I've ever seen. And I don't remember which. I could probably look it up. Kobe Dream Team shoes. Which one is this? So
yeah, folks out there definitely can get on the Google foo.
Anyways,
Look at all
yeah, on the Google foo. It's one of the shoes, but it's a beautiful red, white, and blue shoe. Obviously, beautiful shoe, and
right.
Always loved that shoe. Not because it's a Kobe. I mean, anyone could have been wearing it. I just thought it was a good looking shoe.
Right.
But yeah, shoes. Yeah, we're both definitely shoe people. And I think it is hilarious. I think both of our wives will tell you that the last year has been very interesting in our shoe development and renaissance of our shoe creativity that we're buying. Like I said, I just got another pair of Amazon shoes in a week or two ago. And my wife was like, why? Like, really, why do you need more shoes? I don't know. I saw them and I said, they're $19 on Amazon. Like, if they last me a day at SHOT Show, they're worth it, But those Just So-Sos lasted, so they're still lasting. So,
right. Well, I told you, speaking of Just So-Sos, if nobody understands what we're talking about, I mean, that's become a thing. A very popular shoe line now, which I think was started as a joke, but so popular, in fact, my wife supposedly not long ago supposedly ordered Just So-Sos, and when she got them in, they were knockoff Just So-Sos. They didn't say Just So-Sos.
So Just So-Sos are having knockoffs now?
Yeah, they didn't say Just So-So. I don't remember what they said on the side, but it was something totally different. So
that's
even
hilarious.
Just So-Sos now are being knocked off. So there you go.
So I guess you've made it when you get a knockoff,
Right. Yeah. Isn't that horrible when a knockoff?
And the funniest thing is I got those for NRAM and everyone just made fun of me for them until they saw them. Then everyone at NRAM like, dude, where'd you get those? Bro, these are the same shoes that I got for $19. I know that everyone made fun of me for. Now that they're here and now that you see them, I know that John got some. I think Sarge got some. There's a bunch of people that have the So-Sos now. They're actually very, very comfortable. It'd be interesting to see how much they cost now. When I got them in April, they were like $19, but the hell, it might be $50 now. But still, they're not bad.
Probably, yeah. Cool. All right.
Alrighty.
Let's close this one down or start.
Let's close it. What you got coming up, man?
Got a shotgun video again that will drop probably Tuesday. Been a while since we've done any shotgunning, so several things in that video. Kind of wanted to just do more of a compilation of a few different things and kind of get a first video out on those. There'll be more videos on pretty much everything in that one video, but just wanted to get out and do some shotgunning more than anything. And then tomorrow, probably going to try to do some actual filming with the Kiger. We've talked in the last few days, of course, about the Kiger. So no spoiler alerts, but look for that video, probably later this week or next week, one of the two. And then the podcast still rolling strong. Got LWA, Lone Wolf Arms, and we'll talk probably primary weapons system, PWS as well, on Wednesday.
Trigger Con.
Yeah, we did. And then got One Shot TV, Jesse from One Shot TV will be in the house on Thursday with the podcast. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. can't think of much else. Tulsa coming up. We got to try to square stuff away for that. I highly encourage everybody out there watching, listening, whatever. If you can make it in an April or November, the largest gun show in the world, please do yourself a favor and get out there, because it is an experience you will never forget, and you will likely become addicted to going. So,
yeah, there's nothing you can do once you go, and unfortunately, it's going to make every other local gun show you ever go to in your life just seem worthless.
Oh yeah,
but that's just part of it, 11 acres under one roof. We put a few videos out this week.
Yeah, you did.
I put out the Witness 2311. I put the Anderson Kiger video out there. I did man, it was so good to do another training. It's been over a year since I put one of my last training series videos out there. I did a cool drill. Clover and I talk on the phone, several times every day. But we were talking on the phone a week or two ago and talking about point and shooting, with defensive shooting and all that, how we, if we're inside that defensive shooting zone, if you will, probably not using sights. So that'd be kind of a good video, because there was a lot of people that probably made me nervous to point and shoot, whatever. So I gave everybody a drill to kind of get used to focusing on the target instead of that front sight, because that's a 180-degree switch, a mindset of what you're taught to do. So yeah, go check that one out as well. Got a couple more videos coming out. We got a bunch of videos coming out. Got some stuff working with Mantis. Got the Loophole optic we're going to be working on. Man, I got all sorts of stuff. Coming out. Finally able to start catching up. I went to the range so many times the last 2 weeks. My wife was like, looks like you're getting back into it. I was like, I finally got time, and so it's wonderful. A lot of stuff coming out in the next month or so, and then we'll start getting ready for Tulsa. Start ready for after Tulsa. Then we're on countdown to SHOT, baby. But yeah, Clove, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Serenity now.
No soup for you.